Hello and welcome back to GameCube month. So, yes, it's the last video of GameCube month, and I figured I'd take the time to talk about the weirdest fucking game I own on this system. And that's saying something, because I own Doshin the Giant. That would be Cubivore, or as it was known in America, as it was known in Japan, Dobotso Bancho, or Animal Leader. So, yes, I actually own 3 versions of Cubivore, as well as a little thing I'm going to show off in a minute, because I love it. It's great. He's awesome. So yeah, Animal Leader. I've been sort of staring at Cubivore for the last 15 years. And it's always ranged from about 300 quid to about 500. And I never thought I'd own it. Ever. Not once. So I figured, hey, I'm going to get a modded GameCube down the line, which I did end up getting. Thank goodness. And I'm going to get the Japanese version. The Japanese version's like 20 quid. Fuck it. Why not? It's £20. I'm sure playing it will be fine. Won't need to know any of the English. Then, late last year, bearing in mind, I picked up a couple more items other than this version. I haven't actually played this version because by the time I got the modded GameCube, I had Cubivore, which I know this isn't the full version, but the full version commands about 500 quid. And this was 230 something. So for an additional 200 to 300 pounds, you too can own a manual and a case. No fucking point. No fucking point. So instead, I'm going to get a reproduction case and a reproduction manual made for Cubivore. I know it will be reproduction. I have no intention of selling this, so it doesn't bother me. Yes, so never played this version, and here's the kicker. This Japanese version, is in not bad condition, but it's also complete. It's got the manual, it's got the disc, which looks very different. And that definitely is Dobotso Bancho, because, let's be perfectly honest, that is a Cubivore, if you can see it. Right there. That is a Cubivore head. This game, though, this version specifically, I've been playing the ever-loving shit out of. How to describe it? How to describe Cubivore? Well, its manual might give me a strong indication. Oh no. A, it's entirely in Japanese, but B, it's also got horrible, horrifying death imagery. Like that. Which... Why? It's so cutesy on the front, and then you get that in there. I think rather nicely, this version also came with this, which is the controller being held in monkey hands. Which, again, weirdest game on the GameCube, and a bit of a breakdown of sort of every style you can get of the Cubivores. I know that's not what they're called in the Japanese version, but they're Cubivores. Yes, so picked up this version and its horrifying manual. I've downloaded the manual, the English one, and I've read through it a good dozen or so times before I actually got this, because my wife was going to buy this for me for my birthday, and I was like, you know what, I want to play it now. So I bought it off her. I paid her the remainder, because it was about 200 something quid. I paid all of it. And I now have been playing Cubivore over the last few weeks. And it's weird. So, how to sort of explain it? You play as an animal, like these, with their little heads, like a frog. And that one looks like a chair, and in fact has chair legs. So, just put this down, pretend it doesn't exist. You play as a small animal who exists to take down what is called the Killer Cubivore. Now, the Killer Cubivore I will show you in a minute, because I haven't shown you the third version of this game I've got, which is pretty sick, to be fair. It's a very cool version. that I do want to sort of show off, but that can wait. You play as a little piggy to begin with, and you have to eat other animals in the ecosystem, except you all look like cubes with flaps to move around on. And whatever ones you eat, you either gain their movement or you gain their colour, and that colour does different things, like increase your speed, or increases your attack, or increases the amount of health you have, or whatever. And you have to slowly mutate 100 times to beat the final boss. So it's remarkably chaotic. I'm okay at it. I'm not great, but I'm okay at it. I've been getting the hang of the combat. It can be extraordinarily tedious, but in general, you want to build up to defeating kind of the bosses. Now, the bosses are named things like the Boy Scout Cubivore, or there's the Salaryman Cubivore, or there's the Scoutmaster Cubivore, or there's the fucking Neighborhood Watch Cubivore. Don't ask. I do not know. Don't ask. I do not know. And once you've sort of defeated them, you gain an extra flap. I know that sounds gross, but that's literally what they're called. You gain an extra flap, and those extra flaps allow you to attack monsters that have one other flap higher than you. You cannot attack one that has two higher, which you just get stunned and knocked away, and you waddle around a bit confused. So not a bit harder to do. To that end, you have to get to a point where you have about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think, 6? Yeah, you have to get to a point where you have about 6. Once you have 6, you have enough to be able to take on the Killer Cubivore. Now, the Killer Cubivore has 6, or is it 7? It's got a lot of flaps. Again, don't ask. Here's the kicker, though. To upgrade to the next flap, you have to go to a love den. You have to go to a love den where you will have coitus with quite a lot of females. It became a running joke with my wife while I was calling in, and I was like, "I have acquired 5 females. I've mated with 5 females." And typically those females will then go on to have children. Now those children could range from they could just be 1. Or it could be up to 6. It's pretty crazy. There can be a lot more than that. And you're inevitably building up to get your ultimate form from the ultimate mate, who is called the Consu mate. Because of course it is. This is probably the single most horny game I have ever played, because that's basically all the pig can talk. Or at least it writes long, elaborate paragraphs at the end of each fucking mission going, "Oh yes, blah blah, I've invented speech," and shit like that, and it's weirdly philosophical and completely tangential. And then there's ones where he'll just make a shitload of food puns, and he's just constantly like, "Yes, I need to bang people." It's weird as fuck. It's weird. You slowly level up. It's like a strange evolution RPG. I think there's another game like this called Evo on the SNES. It's not like this though, but Cubivore is like huffing a lot of paint and going, "Let's make a game about horny animals." And here's the kicker: I think it's awesome. I think it's really good with its bizarre concept, its weird ass fucking writing. I don't know who wrote the translation or even indeed the original game, but whoever did was snorting a lot of cocaine. Here's the thing though. Cubivore, along with a few games, along with a fair number of games actually, to be fair, but Cubivore in particular was being developed for the Nintendo 64 disk drive. Now, the Nintendo 64 disk drive was a addition to the N64 that allowed you to connect to the internet and take pictures and do a whole bunch of really interesting shit that didn't sell well. It's at a point now where single modules for that thing are tens of thousands like incomprehensible. The only other game that I even tangentially own that's related to it is Doshin, and the first one. There were 2 Doshin the Giant games, and the second one involves you peeing on people. I can kind of see why this thing didn't sell. So because it didn't sell, Cubivore was then ported to the GameCube. You can tell. You can tell. Graphically, it's bare bones. Very bare bones. It's all very simplistic, especially considering how horrifying a lot of the manual art is. I don't think I'd want to see Cubivore in HD. That being said, somebody has actually released a port, so to speak. It's not so much a port as it is a version of Cubivore that had basically been completed, and then they went, yeah, we're cancelling that, shove it on the GameCube. So like another few months development for that. They have actually finished. This is an N64 port of Cubivore. This is a homebrew. I will lead with that. This is a homebrew game. It is the English version. It's the second boxed N64 game I own. There it is. Very cool. Looks as legit as you can possibly get, to be perfectly honest. It's pretty it's pretty surprising. But yes, I found this on eBay when I was just sort of looking for Cubivore stuff, and I thought, hey, I'm going to get that. I'm going to get that, and I'm going to buy a box for it, so I can have a boxed copy of Cubivore for the Nintendo 64. And I will freely admit, I haven't got around to playing this, but from what I can tell, it's literally the same game. It's identical. So I could probably save myself a couple £100 and not bought Cubivore for the GameCube. I could have just bought it for the N64 instead. It's cool. It's interesting. It's such a strange little title. You do not hear a lot of people talking about on the internet. I think the Camo Bot covered it in one of his videos a while ago. If you haven't seen him, go subscribe. He does a lot of really cool 6th gen stuff that really gels with me. He covers a lot of weird shit that I really find appealing. I don't know if he's done Chibi Robo yet. I hope he does, because that game is also like taking a lot of meth. I'm going to call it the Meth Trilogy. You've got Cubivore, Chibi Robo, and Doshin. Before we wrap up, however, for Cubivore, there was one other thing. They released a series of toys in Japan for Cubivore. Sorry. Including things like the pig. You've got the dog. I have an alligator. I kind of wish I had the pig, personally, but here we are, with his 4 faces. There's a frog as well. There's some really ugly looking stuff, as you can sort of see on the back there. That's not what they look like when they come out of the package. So they actually look more like, I'm going to pull that off quickly just to sort of show you. Very nicely. So they sort of look like this. And I love him. He's brilliant. These do articulate a little bit, but you basically get a lot of little connector pins. These connector pins can be straight. A good chunk of them are split sort of down the middle here, as you can sort of see. So I can attach this bit so it looks more like a tail. And it comes with 2 fangs. So I don't particularly like these. You can stick them in the mouth or under the chin, but typically I've stuck one in the back of the head and in the tail, so it looks like he's got a stinger and a fucking horn. And you know what? I love him to pieces. I love him to pieces. He is amazing. I wish I had the money to get more. So this was a one-off fluke of finding it for 30 quid. And I was like, that's a lot of money. But the others are going for like 80 or 90. Fuck it. And I bought it. I'd like to own the rest because I really, really, really like Cubivore and I really, really love him. He is absolutely fantastic. He's probably one of the strangest things I own collection-wise because he is just a Cubivore figure, but who knew there was a Cubivore figure? That's a rare bit of Nintendo merch that you will not find anywhere else, or Atlas merch for that matter, because it was published by Atlas in America. I think they had a choice between this and Doshin for release in Europe, and they went, we'll take Doshin the Giant. we don't think Cubivore will sell as well over here. And I'm like, are you kidding? I'd have bought the shit out of that game. But here we are. I've had to buy a N64 version, a Japanese version, and now I own an American version to play on my new modded GameCube. Anyways, guys, that's it for GameCube Month. Thank you very much for joining me the last few weeks. It's been an absolute trip in some cases, especially with this again. But it has been a lot of fun. I've been enjoying just getting back into the Cube because I've been playing it for a long period of time. I recently acquired Gotcha Force again, so I'm looking forward to playing that. That should be arriving shortly. And yeah, I will probably be covering a little bit of the Switch 2, probably this weekend, if it's out at the time of this being released. I have pre-ordered it. I bought one game. I bought Mario Kart World, and I haven't bought Cyberpunk yet. It's on my list, I think. We'll see how I do. See how I do with money this month, because I've got other things to buy. But yeah. Anyways, guys, that is me signing off for another week, and I will see you next time.